On-page SEO for beginners. Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to continue our SEO 101 series and optimize our first page with on-page SEO, the most important part of SEO. So let's get right into it. All right guys, if you remember correctly, in a previous video, we had gone through and set up our site, ketoforvegans.net. And today what we're going to do is actually going to build out the homepage and add our first content and optimize it for SEO. That may sound a little intimidating, but it's really actually very, very simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to log into our site, our WordPress site. We're going to come over to Pages, and then we're going to find the front page, which is this one here, and then we're going to edit it, and we're going to paste in some content that I had written. Now, a quick word about content. You can write it yourself, and if it's a topic that you're passionate about and you're knowledgeable about, you definitely should write it yourself because it's going to come off as more authentic. Personally, I don't know enough about this topic to speak with authority, and frankly, I don't have the time to write it myself. So what I did is I came over here to Legiit.com, which, full disclosure, is a website that I own. But what this is basically a marketplace where you can get done anything you need, whether it's SEOs, services or writing or whatever, just to help you kind of go through it. So, and what I did was I bought this service. Let me show you that. I bought this service here and asked them to write an article for me based on the term keyword for vegans. So, and what I did on this one is I needed a longer article, so I bought some extras, and it came out to about $49. Now, I realize that can get pricey if you're doing a bunch of these, but they don't all have to be that long. I just wanted a nice long article, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. So this is the article that the writer delivered. They did a great job, and we're going to go through and we're going to put that on our site and we're going to optimize it. Now, there's a few things you need to consider when doing on-page SEO. And before I go any further, again, I want to remind you, those of you that consider yourselves advanced, that are out there getting triggered right now or about to get triggered by some of the stuff I'm going to show in this video, this is for very, very basics. This is for someone who's never optimized a page before and doesn't really understand SEO. So there are more in-depth and more sophisticated ways to do on-page, and as you get deeper in your SEO career, you may need to do them. But for now, this is just the basics, and this is just to get you familiar with the things that you're going to do. So anyhow, with having said all that, what I decided for this one is I needed a 2,000 word or 2,500 word article for the homepage. And the way I figured that out is I came over to Google and I looked at the top results and I saw on average what they had. Now that, how many words they had. Now that, as you can imagine, is tedious, right? Like you would have to take that, run it through some sort of tool or like paste it into Word or something like that. And that's a pain in the butt. So what I did was I have a tool called Audit, which again, I own. So, full warning, full disclosure, whatever. And what you do is you just stick in your keyword. Search. And what that's going to do is it's going to pull in all the top results. And then what you want to do is just go through and make sure there's none that shouldn't be there because they're ranking on their domain authority, which we'll talk about in a later video, as opposed to their optimization. So for example, this YouTube, that would throw our numbers off. So we'll remove that. And Independent, I believe, is a news site, but I could be wrong. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it's some sort of news site. So we'll remove that. And the rest of these, Pop Sugar, I guess that's a good one. Okay, so now we have a list of around the top 20 minus the ones that we don't want in there. Healthline, I think, is, I think that's a regular one. So then what you do is you just come over to averages, and you see the average word count is about 2,043. That's why I had this article written that is 2,500. So it's a bit longer than the average, but that's okay. And the reason we're doing that is we're just seeing what's already working and kind of emulating it or maybe beating it just a little bit. So now what we're going to do is let's go ahead and delete this default text that we put in there. We're going to copy our article, paste it in. So now what we're going to do if you remember right, we installed a plugin called Yoast SEO. So what we're going to do is we're going to first come down here and put in our focus keyword, and that is keto for vegans. Now, again, there are more advanced ways to do this, and there are a lot of people that don't like this plugin, and I'm sure that they're screaming at their screen right now if they haven't clicked back already, but that's okay. We're not here to please everybody. We're here to get the basics down. So, and what this tool is going to do is it's going to give you some idea of things that you do or do not need to do. So, keyword density. The focus keyword is found 4 times. That's less than the recommended minimum of 10 times of this length text. Now, there's a lot of debate about that. Keyword density basically means the percentage of the text that is your exact keyword. A lot of people say it's 1%. Some people I know say 2 or 3. Some people say it's just naturally. It just depends. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go through and make a few tweaks. So first, we want to have that in the alt text of our image, which we do. We want to have it in an H1 tag, which on this particular site, I believe that this shows up as an H1. It depends on your website theme, though. So let's take a look at our homepage and make sure. Inspect. Yeah, that's an H1. H1 means heading 1. There are 5, I think there's like 7. There's at least 5 different levels of heading. 6, okay. And that's just the way the text is formatted. And then this one, I believe, is actually we're gonna make this an H2. So we don't overdo it. And then let's look for keto for vegan. So now I like to add at least a couple, in an article this long, I like to add a couple more images. So we'll come over here and we're just gonna find a spot kind of maybe in the middle to stick that. Just because, you know, we want it to look a little nice. So we're gonna upload file, and I made a typo there. In fact, let's change this up. Let's go vegan keto foods. And for the alt text, this is the text it displays. If it can't display the image, we're going to go keto for vegan snack. Can't type this morning. And we'll insert that into the page. What we're going to do is we're going to read through the text and find places where we can work in the term keto for vegans, because in my opinion, it's not there enough. The problem is it doesn't flow that well English-wise, so you kind of have to get a little creative, but we'll figure something out. So this isn't perfect, but keto for vegans. Now, again, this is not ideal. You would work this in a little bit better. So now we're going to come down here and see 6 times, and it wants it 10. I think 6 is probably good enough. We'll compare that in Audit here in just a second. So that's check mark number 1. It says that we need an internal link. So we're going to grab this article, even though I don't think I've put anything on it yet. And we're just going to add another sentence here. And this one hits home for me because I will be over 40 very, very soon. So we'll paste that in there. You see how it took that internal link light, and turned it from red to green? So let's go through the list here, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little better. We have outbound links. An outbound link is a link to something off the website. We have that right there with what is veganism. Internal link, we just covered that. Keyword phrase and introduction, which is this part here, although that to me is not a particularly important factor. Key phrase length, good job. Key phrase and meta description, that is here, and I think we set that up in a previous video. Yeah, we did. So that's this part right here. Meta description length is good. Previously used key phrase means that we haven't used this. We haven't optimized any other pages on our website for it. Key phrase and subheading, that's why I changed this one to an H2 instead of an H1. Image alt attributes, we covered that. Text length, we covered that. Key phrase and title, we covered that. and SEO title width, which means this. We covered that. So we have checked most of the checkboxes. And again, I want to reiterate that this is by no means a comprehensive guide to on-page SEO. This is just how to get you started if you're first starting with SEO and kind of showing you the basics. Okay, so here's a quick set of bullet points just because I know I went kind of fast. All you have to do for on-page SEO is look at what's winning, emulate the word count and keyword density, and the number of times the keyword appears, although if you do the first two, if you do 2 and 3, 4 will take care of itself. Then you want to make sure the keyword is in an H1 tag, keyword is in the alt tag of at least one image, keyword is in the meta title, and keyword is in the meta description. That's really all there is to it. So that's kind of how we optimize our page for SEO. And again, one more quick disclaimer. I know that there are better plugins and a lot more advanced steps to doing on-page SEO. I just wanted to give a quick and dirty, for lack of a better term. If you want to know more about how to do advanced on-page SEO, check out Superstar SEO Academy or some other videos on this channel at chrisandwalker.tv, and you can always ask in the Superstar SEO Facebook group at superstarseo.group. And also, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments on this video, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.